Willkommen in Zurich, Monsieur Nutz, est in ein Dungeon Big Canucker. Well, I guess that's my German for saying welcome back, knife nerds. It's your boy, the Big Canucker. And the reason I happen to say this in German is because we are looking at a German knife here, a kind of a German Boy Scout knife, designed by a fella who was looking for some knives that were good for his 8 and 10-year-old kids. And he ended up not finding much out there, so he decided to design some himself. This happens to be the wood processing version, the Schnitzel DU. Now, this one here differs from the kind of the Boy Scout knife in the fact that the Boy Scout knife is a fully flat ground with a little bit of a not as pointy of a nose, and it's also not as thick too as well. But this one here is an excellent knife in its own right, and I kind of want to go over this a little bit because I ended up getting this here from a friend of the channel's, Jake over at Canadian Cutting Edge. I will leave his a link to his channel there in the description, so don't forget to check him out. Excellent fella, deals excellent with a lot of budget knives out there, and he is a wealth of information. You definitely got to check that fella out. So this one here happens to be on the small side for a fixed blade, which is okay because I think that this is an excellent everyday carry fixed blade. And I did carry this summer as kind of a camp knife. I tried out and I was blown away by how handy this was. And I first decided to try this out as just a camp knife. I wanted to go camping. I wanted to check it out. I wanted to process a little bit of wood to it. But I found that more and more that I wore it, I could use it for a whole lot of other things. And I ended up just keeping any of my folding knives, just left them in the camper, had this all weekend, and I was absolutely blown away by how handy this was. Okay, 7.28 inches long, so it's on that the smaller side with a 3.35 inch blade. Now, an everyday carry, that is about the 3.5 inch perfection that you want to have. A fixed blade, a lot of people like to have that bigger kind of 6-inch blade. This one here is just more of a excellent everyday carry with a 3.35 inches. All right, 1.118 of an inch wide, the blade, which is 3 millimeters. So it's very, very stout, all the way from the tip right through the entire thing. It is a fully flat grind. It is a full tang construction. There too. Now the blade material is 14C28N. We can see that just here at the bottom, of the tang here, 14C28N. A Sandvik steel, which is a great steel, not just budget-wise, but a great knife steel all the way around. Now, that Sandvik steel is very, very clean when they make it, so the carbides are evenly distributed. You get really good edge retention, you get really, really good stainlessness, and you get good toughness. So don't think anybody, don't look down on this steel because it's a budget steel. It is an excellent steel all the way around. Now, the handle material is made of G10, which is darn near indestructible. It is, chemical proof. It is, you're not going to have to worry about this thing getting too hot, too cold. The grip on it here is excellent. The ergonomics on this knife is wonderful, especially for something on a little bit on the smaller side. Now, it is only 4.73 ounces weight. And a lot of that is because if you have to pop these off, these two screws you can pop off. You can take your G-channel if you need to clean underneath there. If you're hunting with this, say you got some blood in there, you want to clean it up, you can pop that off. You'll find that this handle is completely hollowed out. And you're not going to be sacrificing in strength with that because there is enough beef in there that I would not worry about this at all. I actually, they say knives are, for cutting, not for prying. Well, this 3 mil thick here, stout tip, if I had to pry open a can of paint, I don't think I'd be afraid to do that one bit with this knife. It is that stout and that tough too. Now, it is, on the safe side too, you've got this little bit of a horn here, so your hands are not going to slide up into the blade. And you've also got some excellent jimping along the spine. And I got to tell you, all jimping is not made the same. You can get some jimping that'll tear the hell out of your hands. You can get some jimping that just doesn't seem like it's give you a very positive grip. Well, this one here does, and it's in such a place that if you had to bear down on it, I wouldn't worry about it whatsoever. Now, if you press too hard, I mean, you can saw into your thumb over and over and over, but it just gives you that grip without tearing the hell out of your thumb. And I have delicate hands that are like of a veal-like consistency, so if it's not delicate, it's not going to work for me. All right, here it comes with a Kydesh sheath here. That allows really decent retention here. It's not going to rattle, which is one of a huge pet peeve of mine, if I've got a knife and I'm walking around and it's banging and rattling around, I got to do something with it, or it's not going to be on my hip very long. Another thing too is because I'm on the bigger side, even though this knife is designed for for people of the smaller people, it will fit a nice big thick 2-inch belt in there. So, and I got to tell you, I got a big thick belt because I got a big thick gut. That's got to go away. So, no worries about that. It does carry extremely well. As an everyday carry. Now I've got some bigger knives out here. So something like this Schrade here, this SCHF 42. This is kind of a wood processing blade too, but I wouldn't want to wear this in an office setting or as an everyday carry. This is kind of a survival type knife, and you can see a nice big honking blade on it. It's got that big fat jimping that tears your hands. This one here, it would be okay for the bush, but this one here is okay for the bush as well as okay for going to take it to work. I don't think that if you kind of pull this out, you're not going to scare the hell out of anybody. Excuse me. You're not going to scare the hell out of anybody with this knife. As a matter of fact, I think you might get a, oh, that's kind of cute. Damn it, woman. You don't say my tool is cute. There, she's kind of locked in. That was a little bit of a pet peeve I had of this. Sometimes it doesn't seem to click in there. It just seems to kind of slide in there, even though, it's not going anywhere. I like the fact that I can hear it click, and it doesn't click all the time. That's a little bit of a knock that I have on it. All right, this particular version, you can also get a really nice little neat ferrocerium rod. Not going to take the place of common sense. If you're heading out into the bush, make sure you got a lighter and a few other different ways to start a fire. But this ferrocerium rod is an excellent way to start a fire. I did start some fires with it this summer just to keep my skill sharp, because you just never know when you're going to need to start a fire with a ferrocerium rod, and it's not as easy as a lot of people think. So if you've got a ferrocerium rod and you have a campsite, start a fire once in a while with your ferrocerium rod just to keep your skill sharp. It's got some great hold in there, but it's also got this nice little bungee that'll hold it in there, so it's not going anywhere. You're not going to lose your ferrocerium rod at all. Now, you can see this here looks like it's got some T8 Torx. I think you can pop those off if you had to, and you could use this as just a straight pocket carry. I've used this just straight in my pocket without a belt loop, and I've left the belt loop on because I didn't want to take it off, and it did fit in there kind of nicely. I just had to reach in, and pop it out. Putting it back was a little bit of I had to be careful. I was going to cut my pants, but it can be carried as a front. It can be carried in the front pocket with just this kind of sheath on it. So you can actually, pick these up here at White Mountain Knives. They're about $59.74. So, they're not too expensive, and I just think they're an excellent everyday carry fixed blade knife. Would I recommend this? I think absolutely. If you've got some kids out there, 14, 15 years old, you want to start introducing them to, the bushcrafting, this is a great knife to start off with. If you want to everyday carry a fixed blade knife because maybe the laws in your county or your state or your country don't allow you to carry a folding knife, this is a great fixed blade option all the way around. Now, it does come in a couple of different colors too. It comes in a red, comes in a really neat purple. It comes in this OD green here. So you've got some choice here. I just think it's excellent. Now, would I recommend this? I think absolutely, in a heartbeat, all day long. Not only as a fixed blade bushcraft knife, I think I would also recommend it for those who want a fixed blade everyday carry. That's kind of my main thing on this, why I was so blown away with this knife right off the bat. And just the overall capabilities of it and the size too are the things that I loved. So, thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate you guys. You guys do not know how much I appreciate doing these videos for you, imparting some knowledge. I love hearing your take on these things, and I absolutely love hearing some stories from you guys too. So please stay safe out there. Please keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.